People are going crazy for vintage gemstones. We're talking about gems dug up decades ago. Think your grandma's jewelry box, but way more expensive. It's like finding a pair of vintage Levi's in mint condition. Everyone wants them. But why? It's like this. Vintage gems have character, they've got history, they've seen things. Modern gems are cool and all, but they lack that certain something. It's like the difference between a brand new car and a classic muscle car. Plus, vintage gems are rare. They don't make them like they used to. Back in the day, mining wasn't as industrialized. Finding those gems was tougher, which makes them even cooler. Let's talk about cold, hard cash. Vintage gemstones are skyrocketing in value. A 1950s emerald ring recently sold for a cool $100,000. And get this, a 1920s sapphire brooch went for $80,000. These aren't just pretty baubles, they're investments. Like a fine wine or a classic car, vintage gemstones appreciate over time. The older they get, the rarer they become, the higher the price tag. So, if you're looking for a way to diversify your portfolio, you might want to think about adding some vintage sparkle. It's not your typical stock or bond, but it's a whole lot more fun to wear to a party. Here's the thing, vintage gemstones are like snowflakes. No two are exactly alike. Each one has its own unique quirks and imperfections. They don't have that mass-produced cookie-cutter feel. Take emeralds, for example. They're known for their inclusions, which are like little imperfections inside the stone. Think of them like beauty marks, they add character. Modern emeralds are often treated to hide these inclusions, but vintage emeralds? They wear their imperfections with pride. And it's not just emeralds. Rubies, sapphires, diamonds. They all have their own unique characteristics that make vintage stones so special. Here's where it gets really interesting. Vintage gemstones have stories to tell. They've witnessed history firsthand. Imagine a ruby that adorned a queen's finger, or a sapphire that sailed across the ocean on a grand voyage. When you wear a vintage gemstone, you're not just wearing a piece of jewelry, you're wearing a piece of the past. It's like finding an old diary in the attic. You get a glimpse into another time. And that, my friends, is priceless. Blood, sweat, and faceting the art of gem cutting. This ancient craft has been passed down through generations, each artisan adding their own touch to the legacy. It's a blend of science, art, and sheer determination. Now let's talk about the artisans. These skilled individuals are the backbone of the gemstone industry. They dedicate their lives to mastering the intricate techniques required to transform raw stones into dazzling gems. These are the unsung heroes of the vintage gemstone world. Their expertise and passion are evident in every cut and polish. They work tirelessly, often in small, dimly lit workshops, to bring out the hidden beauty within each stone. They're the ones who take a rough stone and turn it into a work of art. This transformation is nothing short of magical. It requires a deep understanding of the stone's properties, as well as a keen eye for detail. Back in the day, there were no fancy machines. The tools were simple, yet effective. Each tool had a specific purpose, and the artisans knew how to use them to their fullest potential. They cut and polished these stones by hand. This manual process allowed for a level of precision and control that is hard to achieve with modern machinery. The artisans could feel the stone, understand its nuances, and adjust their techniques accordingly. It was a painstaking process that took months, sometimes even years to complete. Each step required patience and skill, from the initial shaping to the final polish. Every moment was a labor of love. They didn't take any shortcuts. Every facet was meticulously crafted to enhance the stone's natural beauty. The artisans would often spend hours inspecting their work, making sure that each cut was perfect. And that's why vintage gemstones have that special something. They carry the essence of the artisan's dedication and skill. Each piece is unique, with its own story to tell. Each facet is a testament to the skill and dedication of the artisan who crafted it. The precision and care that go into each cut are what make these gemstones truly exceptional. It's like the difference between a hand-stitched leather jacket and one you buy off the rack. The hand-stitched jacket has character, it has soul. You can feel the craftsmanship in every stitch. The quality is just different. It's something you can see and feel. The same goes for vintage gemstones. They have a depth and brilliance that mass-produced stones simply can't match. The next time you admire a vintage gemstone, remember the artisans who poured their heart and soul into creating that masterpiece. Their legacy lives on in every sparkling facet. Emeralds, sapphires, and rubies. Oh my, these three gemstones have captivated humanity for centuries, each with its own unique allure and mystique. Today, we dive deeper into the world of sapphires and rubies, exploring their rich history, cultural significance, and the qualities that make them so desirable. We've talked a lot about emeralds, but vintage sapphires and rubies are no slouches either. These stones have stories to tell, tales of ancient civilizations, royal adornments, and timeless beauty. Sapphires, especially those with a rich velvety blue, are highly sought after. Their deep blue hue is reminiscent of the vastness of the ocean and the infinite expanse of the night sky. This color is not just a visual treat but also a symbol of wisdom, virtue, and good fortune. Think deep oceans and starry nights. The allure of sapphires lies in their ability to capture the essence of these natural wonders, making them a favorite among collectors and jewelry enthusiasts alike. They're the kind of stones that make you want to write poetry. Their beauty inspires creativity and passion, evoking emotions that are often hard to put into words. Imagine holding a sapphire in your hand, feeling its cool surface and getting lost in its mesmerizing depths. And then there are rubies. These fiery red gemstones have been associated with power, passion, and protection for centuries. In ancient times, warriors would wear rubies into battle, believing they would grant them courage and strength, the color of passion, love, and a really good bottle of wine. Rubies are often compared to the deep red of a fine wine, symbolizing luxury and indulgence. Their vibrant hue is a testament to the intense emotions they represent. Vintage rubies, especially those with a deep, pigeon blood red hue, are like finding a winning lottery ticket. They're that rare. This particular shade of red is highly prized and can fetch astronomical prices at auctions, making them a coveted possession for gemstone aficionados. But here's the thing, it's not just about the type of stone. The true value of a gemstone lies in its overall quality, which is determined by several factors. It's about the cut, the clarity, the color. Each of these elements plays a crucial role in determining the stone's brilliance and overall appeal. A well-cut gemstone can enhance its natural beauty, making it sparkle and shine in ways that are truly breathtaking. It's about the whole package. When evaluating gemstones, one must consider all these factors together. A gemstone with perfect color but poor clarity or cut will not have the same impact as one where all these elements are in harmony. It's like judging a chili cook-off. Just as a great chili requires the right balance of spices, ingredients, and cooking techniques, a gemstone's value is determined by the perfect combination of its attributes. You gotta consider all the ingredients. The magic happens when everything comes together perfectly, creating a masterpiece that is greater than the sum of its parts. So, the next time you admire a sapphire or a ruby, remember the intricate journey it has taken to become the gem you see before you. Pricey but worth it. The value of vintage sparkle. Okay, let's address the elephant in the room. Vintage gemstones can be expensive. But here's the thing, you get what you pay for. A vintage gemstone is an investment. It's something you pass down through generations. Think of it this way, would you rather have a cheap, mass-produced trinket that falls apart after a year, or a piece of history that will last a lifetime and beyond? It's like buying tools. You can buy cheap ones that break after a few uses, or you can invest in quality tools that will last you forever. Which one makes more sense in the long run? When you invest in a vintage gemstone, you're not just buying a piece of jewelry. You're buying a story, a piece of history that has been crafted with care and precision. These gemstones have been mined, cut, and polished by skilled artisans, often using techniques that have been passed down through generations. The craftsmanship involved in creating these pieces is unparalleled, and it shows in the final product. Each vintage gemstone is unique with its own set of characteristics that make it special. When you purchase a vintage gemstone, you often receive a certificate of authenticity, detailing its origin and quality. This not only adds to the value of the gemstone but also provides peace of mind, knowing that you are investing in something genuine. Vintage gemstones are often associated with heirloom jewelry, pieces that are passed down through families and worn at special occasions. These pieces carry sentimental value, connecting generations and creating a sense of continuity and tradition. The designs of vintage gemstones are often intricate and unique, reflecting the styles and trends of the time they were created. These designs are a testament to the creativity and skill of the artisans who created them. When you wear a vintage gemstone, you're not just wearing a piece of jewelry, you're wearing a piece of art, a piece of history. The sparkle and brilliance of a vintage gemstone are unmatched, a result of the high-quality materials and expert craftsmanship. So, the next time you're considering a piece of jewelry, think about the value of vintage sparkle. It's an investment in quality, history, and timeless beauty. Bling that lasts. Why vintage is a good investment. Here's the bottom line. Vintage gemstones are a smart investment. They're rare, they're beautiful, and they hold their value. In fact, they usually increase in value over time. Try getting that kind of return on your savings account, plus they're a conversation starter. Imagine wearing a vintage emerald ring to a party. People will be lining up to hear its story. You'll be the hit of the night. And let's be honest, wearing vintage gemstones just makes you feel good. It's like slipping on a perfectly broken-in pair of boots. They just feel right. So, you want to buy some vintage ice? Here's the deal. So, you're ready to take the plunge? Before you go buying the first shiny thing you see, here's the deal. Do your research. Know what you're looking for. Get advice from reputable dealers. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Look for authenticity certificates. Make sure the gemstone hasn't been treated in a way that diminishes its value. It's like buying a used car. You gotta check under the hood. Buying vintage gemstones should be fun. It's about finding a piece that speaks to you, a piece with a story to tell. Now go forth and find your sparkle.